Was rapper Nelly falsely arrested? Plus, Angel Reese drops new Reebok drip while the TGIF saga continues. Baby Team USA is leading at the 2024 Paris Olympics. Hey, critics, and welcome back to the Critic Chronicles YouTube channel where you get commentary reviews and tabloid news. I'm your host, Patricia Hartley. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. It's Thursday, August the 8th, 2024. Hey, critics, it's time to chronicle. Up first, y'all, let's talk TV. Vanessa Williams, she's going to be stopping by on tomorrow at the Sherry Shepherd Show to talk about her brand new single. The single is called Legs. Now, I'm sure she also might mention Sherry, I'm sure will probably ask about this. Something about the Devil Wears Prada musical. If you remember, while the Devil Wears Prada, the second part of the movie is actually going to be coming out with Meryl Streep and all of the folks. There's also the musical that's also going to be debuting, and that's going to be led by Vanessa Williams, who's going to be playing the role of the villain, who is the equivalent of Meryl Streep's role on the show. So I can't think of the name of the character as of right now, but it's Devil Wears Prada, the musical, in which is supposed to launch this fall over in England. And so Jennifer Hudson, Tony Braxton, and Cedric the Entertainer is going to be stopping by the J Hud Show to promote their Las Vegas residency. Love and Laughter. I think this is such a great idea for them to team up and do this collaboration. And a side note, Oprah also has some interviews that's been uploaded. Some of her Super Soul Sunday interviews. It's on her own YouTube channel. I think Cookie Johnson is one of those. Michael Bernard Beckwith is also another. So if you get a chance to check that out, be sure to do that as well. And Flavor Flav is going to be stopping by Tamron Hall on tomorrow to discuss his career and also probably talk about his experience he had over in Paris. On our May 19th episode, remember we spoke about Flavor Flav sponsoring the Olympic polo team. And so I believe they initially tweeted out something about needing money or funds, and he just decided that he was going to sponsor them fully. He's been captured over in Paris at the Olympics, supporting not only the polo team, but just Team USA in general. So shout out to Flavor Flav for doing that. And you can, of course, watch all of these daytime talk shows by checking out your local listings. And of course, I got to continue to keep it very Olympic style. So these are the top 5 Hoopla Olympic resources that I'm recommending to you today. The first one is Olympic Gold 1936. It was the year that Jesse Owens won in Berlin, triumphing over Hitler's supremacy agenda. So if you haven't had a chance to check that out, and I believe there's a movie called Triumph. While I'm not putting that as one of the 5 resources, it is also a resource on Hoopla as well, and a movie called Triumph that chronicles that 1936 Olympic win by Jesse Owens. And then number 2, Grace Gold in Glory, My Leap of Faith. It's the Gabby Douglas story. It chronicles the life of that young Olympian. Meet Allison Felix. It's an ebook that's available there on Hoopla. And then Black Power Salute. It's a 2 American athletes basically make history at the 68 Olympics as they staged a silent protest against racial injustice. Those individuals, in terms of the athletes, were Tommy Smith and then John Carlos. That is also something to check out. And then Florence Griffith Joyner. Always think about this one, FloJo, and it just further made me think about it when Sha'Carri Richardson was doing her thing and with the nails and just very FloJo-esque. It reminds me of FloJo, one of the first Olympians that I actually learned about as a young student in school. So this is an ebook and it talks about the life of FloJo in a very simple way. It's also a great book, particularly for kids. And let's talk about, y'all, Black on the Cover, where I highlight Blacks on the cover of the latest magazines. On Time Magazine, we have Vice President Kamala Harris, who has now become the Democratic nominee for presidency. Well, in Time Magazine, she is on the front of the cover, and she is on the cover of the August the 5th issue of Time Magazine. And Sports Illustrated Kids has Coco Gauff on the cover and highlights the 2024 Olympics on the inside there. And then the July-August 2024 issue of Women's Health features track star hurdler Sydney McLaughlin. She's there on the cover of that July-August 2024 issue of Women's Health. Actually, their last 3 magazines or covers were of Black women. So shout out to Women's Health. I believe it was Meg Thee Stallion. There was one more. I'm so sorry, I forgot. Their name escapes me. And then, of course, Sydney McLaughlin as well. So speaking of one more Black on the cover, Damon Wayans Sr. and Damon Wayans Jr., they're on the cover of the 10th issue of the Emmy magazines. Now, the magazines mentioned today were accessible through my local library, which is the reason why I mentioned them. And of course, this is the time that I talk about our public library announcement. Here at the Critic Chronicles, our goal is to provide quality but juicy content from websites, digital magazines, and tabloids, most of which are sourced from our public libraries. Research from the National Library of Medicine show that there are an estimated 17,000 public libraries nationwide, totaling 4 million visits each day. Public libraries are civic organizations that are committed to providing invaluable resources beyond books that are free and open to the public. Get your library card to access thousands of resources today. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for critical news that you can use. I must say, before we get too deep into this news, happy birthday, Megan Good. The Leo celebrates 43. Today, she was looking fabulous. If you haven't had a chance to check her out on her Instagram, pulling out some photos to celebrate her birthday, honey. You look amazing, Megan. I can definitely tell that the workouts are more than working overtime on your body, all right? And speaking of celebrating, shout out to Angela White. She's celebrating her sobriety. I believe it's almost 2 years. The dates, I believe exactly is September the 14th. So she's going to be celebrating that here. Coming up, special shout out to anybody, though, who's taking that sobriety journey. It's not easy. And although, everybody's addiction may not necessarily look the same, anybody who's on any type of sobriety journey, sending nothing but love to you, and one day at a time. I know y'all probably saw this trending, but Carisha Please is back, baby. As a matter of fact, I believe before I got on here to record, the episode was already uploaded and available for folks to listen to. About maybe 4 or 5,000 people had listened to it. I have not had a chance to check it out, but if you don't know, Carisha's kind of been in the background ever since the allegations have come out against Sean Diddy Combs, as it relates to many individuals outside of just Cassie who have filed a lawsuit, or lawsuits plural at this point in time, against him. The last I checked, it was at least 7 cases that had been filed against Sean Diddy Combs, and now Carisha, who was his latest girlfriend item prior to the information coming out regarding Cassie, she's now speaking out. And in this interview, Carisha addresses the man that she knew as love, right? Not Diddy that we know in the reports, but she addresses who she got to know, right? She also addresses her now relationship, or maybe even not so great relationship that she had with JT. But the thing about groups, though, y'all, I love the fact that when you're a group or you're a duo, you can always come back. Y'all can get it together, come back. You see Destiny's Child, even some of the original members, right? Like, they've all had a chance to come back together. So it can happen. And she, in the interview, she also addresses her mental health, how she's doing with all the battles. She's very transparent, it seems, and very honest. That's probably like in the first, like, maybe 9 minutes or 10 minutes of the interview. And she's being interviewed, of course, by her bestie Santana. Again, this was just uploaded maybe about an hour or two ago, therefore I've not had a chance to listen to it in its entirety. But if you have, I want to know your thoughts in the comments below. Please share with me if you had a chance to check out the latest episode of Carisha Please, which is now the 2nd season, which also looks as if it's going to be returning. So good looking out, Carisha. Definitely, we want to know how you feel, and what your true state of mind and where you are right now with everything that's going on, as well as what's going to be happening after, right? Now that you're no longer an item with him, what is going to happen now as it pertains to your career? So we know that there's more to come. And I have to give y'all a little bit of a warning. Most of this episode is actually going to now be about probably the Olympics, okay? Like, everything, ever since the Olympics has launched on July the 26th, and they did their opening episode. Excuse me, they did the opening. Beyonce, of course, opened up with the Olympics, and also they had the opening parade. I saw the Paris tower, the Eiffel Tower light up like a Christmas tree, and all the countries represent on different boats sailing. LeBron James, of course, and Coco Gauff served as flag bearers for the Team USA. So congrats to them on that. There's been a lot of magical highlights so far, and I got to talk a little bit about it. Many of these highlights can also be found at the website Olympics.com. And this is where I got most of my information from, as well as watching some YouTube clips. It's the NBC, I believe it is, the Olympics. They're keeping up with some of the latest clips and putting some of those things together. If some of us are not able to always capture these things live. And so shout out, right? Listen, track and field always show up and show out, okay? And as of 9:15 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday, August the 8th, Team USA had 30 gold, 38 silver, and 35 bronze, totaling 103 medals, y'all. The top categories that are medaling is artistic gymnastics, athletics, and that's all the track and field events that's included in athletics, and then of course swimming as well. The top countries in the lead include USA, we're at number 1. Then you have the People's Republic of China in second place with 73, and then Australia is in third with 45 medals. And America has snagged gold in artistic gymnastics because of folks like Simone Biles, and of course all of the girls who are representing gymnastics Team USA. Biles took home gold in the women's all around, women's vault, as well as the silver in women's floor exercise. And then Jordan Childs took home bronze for her floor exercise as well. Looked like one of the most impactful wins. Not that other folks, you can just tell like when some of the folks who win are just kind of like, it's a different kind of surprise, right? It's not to dismiss anybody else's feelings, but it's one thing when somebody's won a medal before and it's like, okay, this is like my 47th gold, right? But when it's somebody who's definitely, they've worked their butts off on a different level, you've seen them come from the beginning to where they are right now, and that's really what seems like Simone as well as Jordan have either done with each other, or Simone basically showcased that to Jordan and celebrated her as she was celebrating her first, I believe, individual win for that floor exercise routine. And the two ladies had this beautiful moment that even Michelle Obama praised when Simone and also Jordan did like a little bow to gold medalist Rebecca from Brazil for winning the floor routine. Michelle Obama called the moment a beautiful moment of sisterhood and sportsmanship, and then congratulated all three of the ladies on their medals. So congratulations to all of Team USA as it pertains to gymnastics. None of that stuff is easy. None of it look like it's easy. All right. And then Sky Blakely was U.S. all around and vault silver medalist in uneven bars, along with balance beam bronze medalist. And then Gabby Thomas won the 200 meter for Team USA, taking home the gold with a time of 21.83, while Brittany Brown took home the bronze. Side note, y'all know that Gabby Thomas attended Harvard. And also, she took a later route as it pertains to her track career. She did an interview, I believe it was with USA Today, in which she shared her journey from trials basically to now the 2024 Olympics. So congratulations to her on that. And then continuing on as it pertains to track and field, if you don't know Noah Lyles, I believe he was diagnosed with like COVID or something and still ended up getting second in his race, which I believe was it the 400? Forgive me, I didn't put that part right there in front of me, but shout out to him for being able to push through and still being able to medal in spite of the fact that he was not feeling very well. And then he also took home the win for the 100-meter final with a time of 9.79 seconds. Now that was prior to him actually getting sick. And Curly Fred was not far behind, taking home the bronze for Team USA, as well as Quincy Hall. He won the 400-meter dash, which was a sight to see because he came back, y'all. He was really like, it was looking like he was, I don't even remember what place he in. It was just one of those things where he was at that last 100, like that last stretch, the final when everybody else got the monkey on their back. Y'all, I remember them. I tried to run track one time. That's the only reason why I know a little bit. I ran track one time. Actually, I should even say I ran track. The track ran me. Okay. But I was there. And I finished the season strong-ish. But that's all right. That's why I don't run track. And I talk about the folks who actually do. And the women's 100-meter final, silver winner, Sha'Carri Richardson. Y'all know I was rooting for her. And the bronze went to Melissa Jefferson. The mixed 4x4 relay, which includes, I guess, all athletes. So typically it looks like maybe 2 female identifying athletes, 2 male identifying athletes. But basically, Team USA took home the silver for that particular race. And then Jasmine Moore took home the bronze in the women's triple jump, while the women's hammer throw silver winner is Annette Nika. I cannot say the last name, but Annette Nika is the one who actually won for the hammer throw, as well as Jasmine Moore took home the bronze for the women's triple jump. Tara Davis Woodhall took home the gold for long jump with a leap of 7.10 meters. And as I said before, the Olympics.com is a great resource. They do a great job of keeping up with all of the countries who are participating in the Olympics, as well as a detailed breakdown of which areas and categories in which each country is medaling, how many, who the folks are. You can also do a breakdown of I guess, sort of a biography of each one of the folks who are there at the Olympics as well. And so check out the Olympics.com website. They have so much information as it pertains to the Olympics and what's going on currently, keeping up with the trends, as well as what's the latest 411. And shout out to the 11-time Olympic medalist and proud mother of two, Allison Felix. I talked about it in the previous hoopla list of resources in which you can check out. But I want to talk about how Allison Felix announced her partnership with Pampers to launch the first ever nursery at the Olympic Village. And it was central to, of course, the living headquarters of the athletes, according to the reports. Felix also continued on and she did an interview and she talks about how she believes that this is a shift in culture and that if you're a mother, it is not the end. You can still do your dream job and you can also still be a great mother while pursuing your career. So shout out to Allison Felix for seeing the need and meeting that need there at the Olympics. I'm very excited about that for you and for you being the founder and connecting with Pampers. And shout out as well to Snoop Dogg, who is reportedly getting paid millions, they say. This is the report. I don't know if that's true or not, but he getting paid, I'm sure of it, right? To promote this Olympic season, as well as his homegirl and friend, Miss Martha Stewart. She's there with him. If you don't know, Snoop Dogg has now written, he's an author plural, right? He's written several books, including some cookbooks as well. I've seen 2 or 3 of them actually every time I'm in the cookbook aisle, either while I'm at Barnes and Noble or even at the library. I've seen one of his books at the library, but I can't remember if it was an actual cookbook or not. But shout out to Snoop Dogg for doing his thing. And he also carried the Olympic torch, danced with Simone Biles and Jordan Childs. He did a memorable skit as well with Michael Phelps. Snoop's out and about, okay, in Paris. And he says, "This is the time to be on it like you want it." That's what he said. That's a quote directly from Snoop. Of course, we have to say that. Okay, I'll keep it short. I'll keep it short because I can make it long, but I ain't gonna do it to y'all today. Speaking though of individuals doing their thing over in Paris, Tuskegee University, they sent a group of students from Tuskegee. They're doing a mini internship and enjoying the 2024 Paris Olympic Games. This actually came up on one of my Instagram feeds. I think it was Black Success. Forgive me if I have the Instagram wrong, but that's where I first actually saw the story. Then I went to the website, and the students are sponsored through the Fond 2 Foundation, which is dedicated to preserving the African American experience, safeguarding human dignity, conserving the environment, providing the gap between academic learning and professional experience by offering invaluable internship opportunities. So shout out to those students and of course their chaperones, and shout out to Tuskegee University for having programs like that that are very in my opinion, it's invaluable. It's invaluable. So shout out to those students who were selected to actually be a part of that as well. And since we're on the Olympics, I got to talk about Canopy, which is a resource through your public library as well. It's a free on-demand streaming video platform, and it's for public and academic libraries. Now, this platform is accessible through your local library, and these are 3 Olympic-themed movies that I believe that you can check out today. Now, this does not include the Jesse movie that I talked about. I think it was Triumph a little bit earlier in the show. This is talking about the Simone Biles story, which is also on YouTube. So YouTube, if you don't know, they also have movies that you can see as well. And this is regardless, as long as you just have a membership. The Simone Biles story is also not only on Canopy, but also on YouTube. I think it's a great story. I actually had a chance to rewatch it this past week. Personal Gold is a documentary that focuses on the experience of 4 underdog women cyclists who became America's hope for a medal in the 2012 London Olympics after the men's team was banned during that Lance Armstrong scandal. Remember? Yeah, when he used to have the rubber bands, the rubber bands that go around your arm, and I thought it was like Armstrong. Did he start that? Did he start that? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not trying to start no rumor. I'm just kind of thinking out loud. And if you want another one, the third one is the Nicola Adams story. It's the story of the first woman ever to win an Olympic gold medal for things. So if you have Canopy, be sure to check those out. If you don't and you're looking for resources through your local library, why don't you also try logging in to your library's website with your library card and your chosen password, and then you can kind of skim through some of the resources that's on or available through your local library. And I actually found a list of resources that you can access these digital resources through like Hoopla, for example, Libby, but it basically has a list of them so that you don't have to kind of look too much around. But again, be sure to log in with your library card information and just kind of browse a little bit. You never know. Maybe your library has something that my library doesn't offer. And if you tell me, I'll ask my library if we can offer it. That's one of the good things about the library as well. So I'll stop and I'll digress because I can talk about the library for a very, very long time. And we were talking a little bit about, of course, Paris. Usher is going to be teasing a brand new movie. He shared a trailer for his concert filmed, I guess, over in Paris called Rendezvous in Paris. And the film is set to hit cinemas worldwide September the 12th through the 15th. So congratulations to Usher, baby, on that one. And speaking of coming through and films and all of the things, A Different World, if you don't remember, A Different World is a amazing show that was back in the 80s, early 90s. It essentially was a sitcom that was set at an HBCU, and the new project is reportedly going to be centering around the youngest daughter of Whitley and Dwayne Wade. Now, Different World came out right. It was kind of like, I think it was supposed to be a follow up to Denise Huxtable's Going to College from The Cosby Show, if I'm not mistaken. Now, that character, of course, was played by Lisa Bonet, but according to the background of things and folks who say stuff like Debbie Allen and not quite Felicia Rashad. I think I actually heard this from Debbie Allen's mouth. But when Lisa Bonet, I believe, got pregnant in real life, not on the show per se, but she got pregnant in real life, instead of them kind of, meshing that into the show or just trying to hide the pregnancy. Instead, they ended up, I believe, removing her from the show and then kind of bringing in some new folks, which is kind of how Whitley kind of became more of the star on the show, and Lisa Bonet was removed. Whitley Jasmine Guy, that's who her real name is, and then Lisa Bonet ended up kind of being etched out of the show. But anyway, I said all that to say the Different World sequel is supposed to be coming back, so I'm looking forward to that. And I got that information specifically from the Hollywood Reporter. And look, y'all, the Fugees. I talked about the Fugees. I'm only bringing this up because I had already talked about them. All right. So the Fugees reportedly canceled their 2024 American leg of their tour. Not just reportedly, I actually went to Ticketmaster.com and you can see that the American leg tour of their concert has been canceled. If you remember back on the June 30th, July 1st show, it was supposed to be a June 30th show, but I think by the time I uploaded it was July the 1st. Well, I talked about how Wyclef Jean, he announced a tour at the BET Awards, like red carpet event, right? And then the BET Awards even ended the show with a performance by Lauryn Hill, her son YG Marley, and then the Fugees reunion, right? This was like in my opinion, I thought this was going to be like the kickoff to like something a little bit different than what we had heard from Lauryn Hill. Because the truth is, while I have not tried or attempted to go to a Lauryn Hill or a Fugees concert, the reason I specifically never wanted to really go to Lauryn Hill is just because of some of the things I had heard, just in terms of her either being late, barely showing up. The rumors were just kind of like, and this wasn't in the last year. This was actually like in like the last 10, 12 years. Like Lauren's been kind of pulling this stunt of being late and just not being consistent as it pertains to her fans and her concerts. Well, Now we have a statement from Lauryn Hill confirming that the North American shows have been canceled, but the UK and the European leg of the tour is still on, y'all. Now, in a statement on her IG, it said the following: with difficulty, the decision was made to pull down our upcoming North American tour dates. However, the shows in the UK and Europe are moving forward. She says it's because of a narrative that was created from past outlets that affected ticket sales for North America. The full post can be found on Lauryn Hill's Instagram page. So tickets for her Manchester, for example, show, her Paris, France show, her Amsterdam and Germany tours, they are still available for purchase. And I believe the title says Lauryn Hill featuring the Fugees or with the Fugees, something like that. If you do want to see her in America, though, there was a performance that was rescheduled from December the 6th, 2023, and the performance was changed to September the 4th of 2024. The concert is going to be happening in Huntsville, Alabama. So there is an American performance out there in which you can still see Lauryn Hill, but I don't believe that includes the Fugees. I believe that the one that's going to be here in America, there in Huntsville, Alabama, I believe that one, though, that's not going to include the Fugees, according to Ticketmaster, right? That one's just the Lauryn Hill's rescheduled concert. So good luck to anybody who's actually going to be attending the concert. I would love to hear how it goes. As well, just because, Lauryn, I think you performing at the BET Awards, it was a real treat. It was one of those things, I think, where folks were like, listen, if nothing else, if she don't never come to another concert in America again, at least we got to see her at the BET Awards. And I don't want to throw that on you, but the rumors, that was the rumors, and maybe the rumors weren't true, but with this cancellation, it just kind of seems like, okay, Lauryn, are we ever gonna get dot dot dot? That's it. That's all I got. And all I got, Nelly, y'all, Nelly, what's going on? Ashanti, come and get your man, girl. Y'all, Ashanti ain't got time to come and get no man. She got a whole baby. She got a whole baby. Nelly, your real name is Cornell Hayes II. He was reportedly arrested for. Let me see. Let me say it like this. Some of the reports were saying that he was arrested for possession of 4 ecstasy pills. That was a report as well through krcgtv.com, and not having insurance in Maryland Heights, Missouri. He was later then released. However, like within no time of his release, his legal team came back out and reported the following, according to TMZ. They said that the rapper was arrested at a Missouri casino, so I guess not while driving, it sounds like, and it was targeted by overzealous, out-of-line officer. Okay? It says after winning a jackpot at the casino, I guess then you have to get your background check. So then they go and do a background check on you. So if your background check, I guess, don't come out clean the way it needs to, the police can act accordingly. So the police, when it didn't come out the way it was supposed to, in terms of Nelly's background check, the police saw that there was an active warrant for no insurance from a previous traffic stop, and he basically arrested and handcuffed Nelly. Not only did he arrest and handcuff him, but he also paraded him through the casino in front of other gamblers, and now Nelly's lawyers are firing back, saying that Nelly has not been charged with possession, and they are sure this will be going nowhere. Now, the way the rumor has it is that Nelly goes to this casino often, or has before. He's won big before. He also apparently won big this time, which is why they had to actually looked up his background information. When his background came out not clean, they were like, "Oh no, arrest this man." And they did. But in the process of his arrest, it sounds like they also maybe look through his stuff, and that's how they found those ecstasy pills. But again, Nelly's lawyer is not wanting to say that this was an arrest for possession at all. It sounds like they're wanting to either stick to the fact that this was him not having insurance and basically a previous sort of warrant that was still there. So, and this does happen. So this is not something that is, you have a ticket somewhere and maybe you don't pay it for a while, then you go back into that county, right? Whatever the case may be, it sounds like it's something that can happen to definitely anybody. But I think, Nelly, some folks out in the street, it's kind of like, why do Nelly got ecstasy? How old are you, Nelly? Why you got ecstasy pills? at this age, Nelly? That's what some folks are saying. That's what some folks are asking. I'm not asking. I'm just reporting what the folks are saying, what the critics are saying, Nelly. Oh, whatever the case may be, if you remember, Nelly and Ashanti are also in the middle of recording a reality TV show. And some, like Patty Jackson, think that maybe this could be a part of the reality TV show just thing. Maybe. Either way, we're definitely going to be watching. And even if they don't show necessarily the arrest on the reality TV show, my bet is if y'all are actually recording the show right now, you're at least going to discuss or talk about it. And again, when it comes to this, we definitely want to know. So we will be tuning in. Speaking of tuning in, y'all, the Real Housewives of Atlanta, they didn't switched it up. Let me take a drink of my tea real quick. They've switched it up for the Sweet 16 season. As previously reported, Kenya, she stepped down from her role in the franchise. And now, as of July the 29th, Phaedra Parks, she's going to be returning. Attorney Phaedra Parks. She's going to be returning. And what timing, y'all, after the exit of veteran Candy Burris at the end of season 15, and then the announcement of the divorce between Portia Williams and soon-to-be ex-husband Simon Guobardia. Am I saying the name right? I hope so, Simon. But the house debacle between the two in the car that Portia refused to give back it's all gonna be revealed, y'all, I think on season 16. So be sure that y'all are tuning in. And Us Weekly reports that the following cast for season 16 includes, just to sum it up, because it took me a minute to be like, okay, who's on and who's not? Portia Williams, Drew Sidora, and returner now, Phaedra Parks. The new faces on the show include Brittany Eady, which is the girl that Kenya lost her job over. I'm sorry, she stepped down over. Nobody lost their job, right? Kelly Farrell and Angela Oakley, along with past friend, now full-time housewife, Shamia Morton. So Shamia has now transitioned into full housewife, which I actually thought was good. I thought Shamia was an actual housewife, so why not, give her an opportunity to have the peach? They were giving opportunities to folks who didn't have an actual ring as well. And I don't have a problem with folks that don't have a ring. It's just that if it's called the Real Housewives, right? If it's called the Real Housewives, I'm just saying. And speaking of just saying, y'all, Kai said, but we friends though, okay? Well, he's a popular YouTuber and streamer. Y'all, I reported this before. He has over 9 million YouTube subscribers. Well, a report from his mouth said that the Secret Service camp over at the Vice President Kamala Harris crew was trying to get Kai to bring Kamala basically onto the channel to talk politics. Now, a few folks at Kamala's camp corrected Kai and said, oh, no, 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 no. That ain't never happened. But either way, folks were encouraging Kai to do it if it was true. Now, we spoke about Kai sent back on June, the 19th, talking about his conversation with Kevin Hart, his crush on singer Tyler. What are your thoughts? If Kamala's camp did reach out to Kai, should he do it? He said that he doesn't sound, to be honest, he don't sound like he's really interested in politics. And I say, don't worry about what everybody else say, Kai. You do what you feel the absolute most comfortable with. I do think that you're a bit, I do think that you are a young folks person in the game right now. So you can always wait it out till next go round if you were interested in politics. Plus, it'll give you some time to brush up on it. But I don't think it's something that your audience has to have. On the flip side, though, if I was Kamala's camp and I truly did want her to go over to, chat with him, I would make sure that I was in my bag determining what was the best way in order to ensure that Kamala was actually on his show, because he definitely has a reach with the young folks. But is it folks that's old enough to vote, though? I'm asking because I don't know. But I would be interested in how you feel by letting me know below. And y'all, the first student from LeBron's school graduated in this past May. And I know this is kind of old news, but I always have to bring in some positive news, y'all. LeBron James Family Foundation, who created the I Promise program, has graduated their first student from college, according to WBNS 10 TV. Akron, Ohio native, his name is Anthony Clater, graduated college in May 2024 and is a member of the 2011 inaugural I Promise third grade cohort. He credits the school with helping him improve his math through their partnership and just kind of being a very good support for him The student graduated early with a bachelor's in criminology and justice studies and a minor in sociology. Now, according to the foundation, there are currently 74 I Promise scholars enrolled in college. The next to earn their degree could be, according to the report, as early as December 2024. So, congratulations, y'all, to all of those who are in college right now. In general, yes, and those particularly who are part of the I Promise program as well. So one, I gotta talk about this. I tried to save it. But y'all, Fox Soul, the TGIF saga continues. I thought that this was gonna be over at the end of June and the beginning of July, whenever they talked about the fact that it wasn't gonna be returning, and each one of the hosts just kind of put it out there. But just when I thought TGIF was gonna bow out gracefully, y'all, in the month of June and July, here we are in the month of August talking still about the TGIF saga. Now the surfacing of this conversation, or the resurfacing of this conversation, I think comes as a result of the interview that radio personality and YouTuber Funky Dineva did with Carlos King on Tuesday, August the 6th. Armand then on Wednesday, August the 7th, decided that he was going to respond to the interview that Dineva did with commentary and also give his side, plus call Claudia Jordan so she could add her 2 cents in it. Now, I don't know why all of the things were like happening all at one time, or why Funky Dineva decided to do an interview with Carlos Clint King at this level. I know they thought, oh my goodness, folks are gonna listen because y'all know we want to know. Well, I have my opinion about the show prior to them canceling, and I was hoping that this all could be worked out, but it's obvious now that it's not gonna happen. In the rant, Armand did reveal a few things I think that was interesting about the show, and that he was not being paid at the same rate as other hosts of the show, and was getting only about, I think, 75K, while the other hosts were getting around that 250K. Now, Jamie That's Me did a discussion about the response that Armand did with Funky Dineva, as well as the interview, yes, with Carlos King this morning, and I recommend you check that out if you can on Jamie That's Me channel. And then I caught Funky Dineva because he also did something on his YouTube channel where he just responded and kind of apologized a little bit to Armand for any distress that he may have caused, and seemed to sort of want to end it there. There was stuff, though, that he did say he wasn't apologizing for. But at the same time, for me, I probably am going to just say that I do believe that it was everybody played their role when it comes to the ending of TGIF, even with the fact that, yes, the ratings had dropped once Armand joined the show, just because I think, some of Funky fans just sort of like bowed out gracefully from the show as well. I still think that they had the momentum to just kind of continue. It also kind of unfortunately goes to show that just because you work from home or you got a virtual job, that you and your coworkers don't get along. Because I think sometimes people make it sound like, I don't want the energy from the people at work. Okay. That's why I don't really want to be in the office. I like being in my own space. Yet we have folks here who was making 250K a year and couldn't make it work. Just like I'm with Make It Make Sense. Make it make sense. But unfortunately, a great show, in my opinion, only. I feel a solid show, even if you don't think it's great, a solid show has been removed from the Fox Soul network. I'm also interested to see what Fox Soul, if they're going to do anything in terms of replacing this show, because TGIF was their most highly watched show. I don't see any other show on the Fox Soul network from the YouTube perspective. Okay. Now, I'm not talking about from the perspective of television, because I know Fox Soul is, on some other networks as well. But I'm saying from the YouTube perspective, I don't see any other show on YouTube that's actually performing at the highest level of what, not even close, not even a percentage, to be honest with you, of what TGIF was doing. So I'm wondering, in terms of Fox Soul, what are y'all going to do in terms of that programming? And although I do think that the three hosts also played a role in it, I do think that the producers behind the scenes had their part that they played in it as well. So sad to say that about TGIF. Sad to see y'all go, but definitely looking forward to what's next for each one of the hosts. And want to give a congratulations before I head out today to Angel Reese. She just unveiled her first collection with Reeboks, and she is looking like a shy Barbie. Yes, she is. In her statement, she posted, "I wanted to create a collection that allowed women and girls everywhere to embrace their femininity and power in whatever they are doing. All items, including shoes, tights, athletic gear, and more, is set to be released on August the 23rd. You can check out the Reebok Instagram page, y'all, for some cute images of Angel Reese wearing the what? Wearing a drip, wearing a drip, wearing a drip. All right, y'all, that's all I got for today. And if you missed the previous episode, I've linked it below. In the previous episode, I talk about the Houston power problem. I talk about Megan Good getting paid good for her role in Divorce in the Black, plus Usher attending the Sky versus Aces WNBA game. Thanks, y'all, for tuning in to the Critic Chronicles YouTube channel where you get commentary, reviews, and tabloid news. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload.